Hello and welcome everybody to episode 4 of the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Noah.
And we are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering topical news and deep dives into your favorite and unknown comic books, movies, games, and more weekly. We appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight. We are covering Overlord, the anime. But before we do, like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get on to some top news before we delve into Overlord. Disney apparently is desperately trying to fill rooms of their new 100-room Star Wars Experience hotel. Prices start at about $5,000.
Hey man, how about
for a couple.
I got a perfect solution. How about you lower the fucking price of your damn hotels?
They are. The sad thing is, it was going from $5,000 for a couple, and they tried to lower it down to like $500 just as like a promotional thing.
Jesus,
But the price is still starting out.
$5,000. You better give me a custom lightsaber.
And you still have to pay for the other things.
What the? I gotta pay for water and gas too. What?
$13 a beer, $11 and up for wine or a special Star Wars type drink.
Star Wars type drinks, acid.
$99 for a photographer for them to take a picture of you in front of different things.
$99. You better give me George Lucas himself taking photos.
And an extra $30 if you want to sit at the captain's head of the dining table.
Fuck the captain, bro. That's a lot of money. $5,000 for one hotel room.
The sad thing is, people actually think that it's worth the money.
Yeah, they will.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a nerd, but damn, $5,000 for any experience at a Disney resort.
Oh, I don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi that much. Jesus Christ.
Hopefully Leia comes to your room or something. Like, damn.
Bring me Padme, sir. Oh, boy.
Alrighty. Next thing we got in the news, the new Wolverine game by Insomniac is going to be a hard R rating, or at least
Man,
that's what they're going for.
Going to be a fucking... I can promise you, at one point, there's going to be a hallway of limbs, heads. I'm going to be wrecking through the whole game. I'm gonna save.
I know you're a Wolverine fan.
I'm gonna save the game, and I'm going to murder everyone in that city.
Is it an open world game?
I don't know, actually. I can already guarantee, like, they're gonna limit, like, you know, like in Batman, you couldn't run over anybody.
Oh yeah.
It would be that little electric thing would like move them out of the way. It's like, I'm like, what the? I'm just gonna get my heart attack from this electric shock. Might as well just run him over. But there'll be limits on how.
Well, I mean, if it is, or if it's a hard R rating,
I mean, it's gonna be like gory. Like, he's just gonna take his goddamn claws and go straight up someone's stomach and just fucking rip his guts out, or something.
I think they should have, though. That's the type of game that you should expect from a Wolverine,
especially with how well the movie Logan did, and it was pretty R, but it wasn't like superly graphically.
No, really, it was more of like a mental rated R than it was.
It was like just more like a mature.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
R, yeah,
like it was more of a mindfuck than it was.
Yeah, like gore. Wolverine's old. Freaking Professor X is senile, having strokes. I'm like,
seizures and strokes and everything else.
What the fuck?
And in the entire world, just by
I found out why Wolverine was getting sick.
Wasn't it adamantium poisoning or something like that?
No, it was, yes, but it was like because they started putting anti-mutagen formula in corn syrup.
Oh, really?
And that's what they made all the food with. You know, like they cook food, right? Yeah. So he was eating anti-mutagen, and it fucked with his.
Really? I didn't even know.
That's well, I saw that somewhere on some article, but I was like, it seemed it was like a theory.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, that seems like
that's a really good theory.
That has to make fucking sense. Yeah, there hadn't been a mutant in years for some reason, and they had said that they were doing something to suppress him with an anti-mutagen. So if it was in the corn syrup, and that's all that he could eat. I mean, unless he's out hunting animals himself.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, it didn't affect. Well, maybe it did. Professor X, he was fucked up too.
I see. I would have thought it would have had something to do with like Scarlet Witch or something.
No.
Like fucking over everybody.
Oh yeah, I guess no, because I guess it wouldn't. She wasn't in that world. She was in the other one.
Yeah.
And they're really like it's not as easy like in a comic book. You just throw whoever together, but in a fucking movie, I don't know. We got the rights to the Fantastic Four. You can't use them though. What the?
As long as the new Fantastic Four movie coming out is not like the last one.
God, I don't know how they could make it any worse. Like, I've never seen that. Fantastic movie was absolute ass. Like, what? I've never. Where did they go in that movie? Where did they go? They stayed in one facility and they went to some other dimension. They didn't go anywhere that whole.
And they stayed in the one spot in the other dimension.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What are we doing right now?
They spent millions for a room.
Jesus.
All right. Next one, Pathfinder, the board game. They are selling 27 PDF books for $25. They're trying to take advantage of the D&D debacle basically going on right now.
What's the debacle for D&D?
They were trying to update the user terms and stuff like that, where you'd have to have copyright over everything.
What are they?
So basically, like the people that have homebrew stuff could get into legal issues and shit like that. Which was just...
Well, I never had any friends, so I never got to play D&D. You can only play by yourself for so long. I can't be the dungeon master and the player forever.
Well, like I said, Pathfinder's trying to take advantage of that shit.
Hey, man.
More power to them.
Get that business when you can.
And last one, it looks like there's another reality show that's kind of grossing people out at the moment. It's called MILF Manor.
Ooh, a MILF.
It's one of the worst TV shows, apparently, that shows the decay of American culture. So the gist of it basically is...
The decay of American culture happened when Honey Boo Boo came on screen. I'm Honey Boo Boo. Fat as fuck, y'all.
Apparently this... it's not just older women going on to a show to find younger guys and stuff like that. No, it's worse than that. They're going on to the show with their kids, their sons, and trading their sons to other MILFs.
Oh, I see now what you mean. That is fucking disgusting. What the fuck?
Yeah. And apparently there's one scene where they have a test.
Instead of cock off. Fucking whip their dicks out for all the MILFs to see.
It was almost like that though.
Oh boy!
They basically had all these dudes take their shirts off, and their moms.
Moms there?
Their moms had to go through the line to figure out who their son was by filling their chests and their arms.
What the fuck? This is real?
Unfortunately.
Jesus Christ, people, come on now. James Cameron, he's a man of decency. Can you not follow by his example?
It's scary beyond belief that we're to this point that a woman is grabbing onto her son's arms. Are
these his fucking titties or not? I can't tell.
Let's just hope it doesn't go the other way at some point.
Yeah, they started feeling, this is my mom's titties? No, yeah. I remember these. Jesus Christ.
So that's...
Come on, studios. Decency. There has to be some level. There has to be a line you won't cross. But I mean, money talks for everything.
Okay, I'll put it this way. What is it that a lot of people search on the hub for?
Big titties.
Well, obviously, but you've also got this trend now. I think there's
the steps thing.
Yeah,
what? I do not understand that. That is.
I don't either. Incest is not a very great thing to look up here, but apparently the borders of like decency have just
the line has moved a little bit further back. Then before you know, they're fucking pumpkins or something, which I've seen, which is not delightful at all.
More stories that we don't want to hear. No.
Yeah, just horror as you watch late at night for not like I don't want to see this anymore. Sometimes the thumbnail catches your eye. I once saw one where a chick was getting banged and she was stuck in a one of those little kid playhouses.
Oh God!
And she couldn't get out. So like, I guess the only solution I have is I gotta fuck you out. I was like, oh, that's a perfect fucking logical plan. Why don't you just take the damn thing apart?
There's so many videos making fun of that. I'm stuck in the dryer, stepbrother. So
I'd be like, well, you're gonna be stuck in there because I don't give a damn about you.
Alrighty. Any other news that you can think of right now?
No.
Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and get into our deep dive of Overlord. Alrighty. We've got one main character that we're following for the most part. I mean, there's other obviously main characters, but The one that the story, for the most part, should focus on is a guy named Ainz Ulgon.
Ainz, oh boy.
It's a long
I'm not going to remember that one.
No, and the beginning of the episodes, his name is Momonga.
Oh,
so it's
shit.
and he's got a third persona where he's a knight named Momon.
I'm gonna go with Momon. I can't remember that one.
All right. He is voiced by Christopher Guerrero, which is also a guy that he voices Ichiya in Fairy Tail and Baxcon in One Piece.
Baxcon? Who the fuck is that? I love One Piece. I don't know who that is. I gotta get back in One Piece.
And the Japanese version, he is voiced by Satoshi Hino. Mm-hmm. He also voices Sai from Naruto. And Kyujuro Rinjuku Ajoku.
Jesus.
God, I can't even talk today. Rengoku.
I can't say titular.
Exactly. You're rubbing off on me here. Kyojuro Rengoku from Demon Slayer.
Okay.
And he, the Japanese Satoshi also voices Abel from Trinity Blood. In the Japanese version, anyway.
Okay.
With Overlord, they have also made 2 movies covering the first full season.
Okay.
Those
OVAs, they call them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one of the 2 is called The Undead King, and the second one is called The Dark Hero. They basically condensed the entire first season into 3 hours.
They took the filler out? Does it have filler?
It has filler, kind of.
Jesus Christ. One Piece's filler could take over. It could be more than another group's entire series.
That's the sad part.
And still have some left over.
Overlord is more, in my opinion, it has what you could probably consider filler. Not it like for the full season. Like there's not just one filler episode.
Oh, yeah.
Really. But there's things you could probably take out and it not affect the story too much. But it's got so much information in every single episode that if you watch them multiple times, you're going to find new things that you didn't notice the first time. It's not like some of those Naruto episodes where you can just skip through the whole last 3 episodes
saga.
And still be on track. Basically, though, it...
Holy shit. I'm good.
I'll cut that out. Don't worry. It's fine.
You just keep it in. They need to know us for the real us. I'm fucking choking on my own spit.
Oh, they're rolling.
No, bro. I was trying to your throat is parched, so you take a little swallow. If you catch it in your throat, you're fucking dying.
All right. But basically, it's 3 hours instead of the 4+ that a normal 13 episode season would be.
Okay.
So, the first episode is called End and Beginning. That's the full name of the first episode title. Basically, the first screen, it opens up with an explanation of what a DMMORPG is, which stands for Dive Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game.
Dive Massively. So it just like...
Dive Massively.
More immersive?
Yeah, it's basically, if you remember Sword Art Online, it's kind of like the headset
like
things.
Dot Hack.
Yeah.
Damn, I love that game.
Yeah, it's basically where you put on the helmet and you go into the game. Like you have feel and stuff like that for the most part. Of the game. It's basically in the year 2126, and the game that they're playing
21. Holy shit.
Yeah. Apparently in this world too, going into the history of the actual world, it's like a decimated world. So, like to go outside, they've polluted the air so much apparently that they have to wear hazmat like suits to go outside.
Jesus, so pretty much real life in like 10 years.
Right. So basically, the game is like the escape.
Oh yeah, because like water, you can't like drink rainwater anymore because it's contaminated. Scientists say that like it's reached the level of contamination where like you can no longer just take, you can just keep your mouth closed with the rainwater. Look it up. It's fucking horrific.
And the game is called Yggdrasil, named after Norse mythology.
Yggdrasil. Oh, it's a tree. Yeah, the tree.
Yeah. The spelled YGG.
Yeah, that's the tree.
Yggdrasil.
That Odin hung himself on to know all knowledge.
Yeah.
He just read a bunch of books, but okay, hang yourself from a tree.
And this game, Yggdrasil, they're basically closing down the servers after it lasting for about 12 years. Mm-hmm. So they're finally closing down the servers into the game. The next screen that they show you is a battle scene. It's kind of like a normal, your heroes and stuff like that fighting against skeletons.
Like
and
one
stuff.
final hurrah before
Yeah,
they
kind of. Yeah.
all log out.
It's basically what you would expect from like one of those hero trope animes.
No.
Where it's like a group with the healer and the cleric and stuff.
Okay.
And they're all fighting these.
You got that barbarian just fucking ripping throats out with his mouth.
Yeah. You have a lightning shot basically in the background where as soon as they go, get rid of the lightning, you see the mausoleum of where they're fighting against these skeletons from.
Yeah.
And there's one like big skeleton dude wearing a robe and holding a staff, and he's got some like monster people.
Well, he's like the
behind him
one
and
from the
stuff.
pictures, right? I've seen pictures of Overlord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the next scene after that, like it does a little cut scene, and all the heroes are defeated.
Oh, she was down.
And it's got
All that level grind for nothing.
yeah, it's got the skeleton leader where he's got red coming out of his eye like flame, and then it cuts automatically to the opening scene.
Okay.
The opening scene is music by OXT, and the name of the opening music is Clatonia.
Latonia.
Yeah, it's a music track, I guess. As soon as we get done with the opening scene, we have Momonga talking with a guild member, which is a slime. The slime character has just logged back in since they're closing down the servers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One last chance to talk to each other and stuff like that. Basically telling him that the slime is telling Momonga that he hopes to get to meet in real life and stuff like that.
Oh, he's a real person?
And like meet up, because they've known each other for years. And,
Momonga's like 15 and dude's like 56. I hope we meet up someday. The two of us, in the woods so we can talk.
yeah, because basically they've been friends for years, and he get the slime hands over all the things that they've collected, like the artifacts and stuff in the game. Hands it all to Momonga since Momonga is the leader of this
Guild.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's kind of like a sentimental thing for Momonga.
Yeah.
After the slime guy, he logs out. You got Momonga. He looks at the staff that it took all of them to build, basically. So it took hours and hours of crafting and basically grinding to get all the materials needed for this one specific staff.
Okay.
It's called the Staff of Einzelgone. Because the actual guild itself is called Einzelgone.
Okay.
You have him explaining what it took to become a member of this guild specifically. So you had to be an inhuman character. So demon, slime, skeleton, anything that's not an elf, a dwarf, your normal humanoid characters. Anything aside from that. And you had to be a functional person in society, so you had to have a job and, trying to work your way up in real life.
How would they even know any of that? That's my business. I'm a complete degenerate in real life, but a hero in the game. What's that matter?
Yeah. So you have him reminiscing a little bit there and thinking about all the things that they've done basically to get to that point. He looks and he sees these battle maids that are part of the guild itself. So they're NPC characters.
They got some. Do they got some big old badungas?
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's some that are fans.
I like to be able to imagine them in my head. Is why I ask.
You'll find out later in the series. You would want to do that.
Oh.
Pretty evil characters here later on.
I can turn any girl to the good side.
So he looks upon him and he decides to move him around one last time since they're the NPCs. So he has them follow him and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I'm like, move him around.
But not in a hentai type way, no.
Just tosses them in a trunk and throws them in the bottom of the ocean or something.
So you have these battle maids, and then you have their leader, which is named Sebas. He's the butler, basically, but he's their leader of the battle maids.
Okay.
They're called the Pleiades, after the Greek, I believe.
Pleiades?
Yep.
I have no idea.
But he has them all follow into the throne room. When he gets into the throne room, he sees Albedo, which is the leader of the Floor Guardians, and I'll explain that here in a few. And he has the maids and Sebas stand by. So he tells him it's like basically to wait off to the side of the actual throne room, and he has Albedo basically standing beside him, and she is the fan service character of all fan service characters.
Oh boy.
She on a lot of forums, she is the waifu
Okay.
of a lot of people. She's the one that has the bazongas.
Hey, you gotta have that mascot.
Yeah. While sitting on the throne, he's got Albedo in front of him, and he's messing around with the settings and stuff since it's the last day, and he sees that there's just pages and pages and pages of information for Albedo, just like random shit, because the people that created these characters were all part of the guild, and each one spent time designing a certain character.
Huh.
And the person that designed her was a guy named Tabula.
So he just like wrote just this
He wrote a
mountain of information. Oh my god.
Yeah. And he also wrote that she's a bitch.
So fan fiction, basically.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the very end, he put like she's a bitch.
The very last line.
Like she's sweet looking, but she's just a bitch.
God dang.
So Mamanga, he rewrites it.
Oh.
He's like, it's the last day. You know what? Who cares? And he put she's deeply in love with Mamanga at the end of her.
Oh, good job. I'm sure that's not gonna come back to bite him in the
He's
ass.
like, oh god, I'm such a nerd. Like he articulates that he knows he's a nerd for doing it. He's then looking at all the flags in the hall room and stuff of all the guild members, kind of reminiscing still, saying, like this one's for this person, this one's for the next person.
Right.
Basically, in the entire time, the clock is just counting down for the end of the server.
The server just shut down? Jesus.
Yep.
Why did they shut it down? It's just time, or they ran out of money, or what's the company? Did they ever give a statement?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was just that it was an older game.
Oh.
It had been around for 12 years. And
They wanted to update to the new one or something?
yeah. So basically, the clock counts down to the actual 0, but then it starts going in reverse. So it starts going back up in numbers.
Like up to 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah. And you've got Mamanga. He's sitting there. He's like, the fuck's going on?
I imagine so.
Like, did they not...
Remember
Did they push it back? Did they what the hell's going on here? And it's at this point that it figures out that he cannot contact the actual devs. So the little screen that pops up in front of him normally in a game,
little menus, players, yeah.
he can't do it.
Huh.
So he doesn't know what the hell is going on.
That would like freak me out if I'm in a VR and I can't get out.
It'd be freaky.
Yeah,
it'd be very, very, very freaky.
What about my real body? It's got to eat and move.
And you've got Albedo. She's like, "Are you okay? What's wrong, Lord Mamanga?" He also notices that her mouth is moving at this point.
They don't move?
Apparently, in the game, they didn't necessarily move.
They kind of just like
Whenever
did
they
a little
speak.
dialogue thing.
Either that or there was voices, but it didn't actually move facial features and stuff like that.
I've seen some games with horrendous voiceover to mouth moving. You're like, oh boy.
Oh, God. There's a lot of bad ones out there. Like, really bad. And if they haven't fixed it by 2126, that's really bad.
Yeah.
He notices this, but he also notices that the staff that he was actually holding, the staff of Ainzel Lagon, it's still floating beside him the way it should be. Like, things haven't changed enough to give that much of a pause. Like, certain mechanics are still working the way they should in the actual game. So he tells Sebas, the butler, to go check the surrounding area of Nazariq, which is the tomb that they're inside of. Basically, see, like, go outside and check and make sure everything's where it should be.
Right.
At this point, he also notices that Sebas and the battle maids kind of follow orders that don't make a lot of sense in a game. Like, normally they have certain cues that they're supposed to say to, like, stand by means they stand there. Kneel means that they kneel.
I'm trying to get an NPC to do something in the game and they won't do it. Just frustrates the fuck out of any gamer.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't fucking follow me to this fucking room so I can cue the next fucking sequence, I'm going to...
Yeah. So he tells Sebas to go outside and check the surroundings. And then he tells the rest of the battle maids to go and guard the 9th floor of the
Don't breathe in on this, my bad. Go ahead. I keep forgetting where to breathe.
But he tells them to go guard the 9th floor of the tomb,
Right.
basically. And that if anybody comes up there, destroy them, basically.
Up or down?
It is... They are on the lowest floor of the tomb.
Jesus, so it's a tomb going up?
Yes. So the throne room is in the very bottom of the...
That's a random choice.
The tomb of Nazariq.
Okay.
Yeah. So he tells him to, go fuck up whoever comes into the tomb, basically, because he doesn't know what's going on.
If you see anyone, start giving them hands.
Pretty much. And he's still trying to figure out a way to contact somebody. So
Right.
he's trying to.
Man, what would I do?
He's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here.
Here's an advice to you guys trying to do VR. Have a fail-safe location where players can go if their menus, their on-hand menus don't work. Like you go to this level and then you can call, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because imagine getting stuck in VR. He's like a whole bunch of kids just in comas.
Yeah. So far, it's kind of taking a. It's got kind of the same vein as Sword Art Online, but it's not necessarily the exact same because they're not stuck in a game at this point.
Right. Were they stuck in Sword Online?
Yeah, they were just locked into the game. So like their real bodies, needed food and stuff like that. He after trying to figure this out, Albedo comes back up towards him, and then he realizes that he can actually smell her. Like, the games don't have smell. Like, there was never a smell feature in the game. Like, the hell's going on here? And he also realizes that he can touch her. Like, actually feel her, like, warmth of her skin, because he reaches out to, like, see what's going on.
Cups of titty, yeah.
So he asks, can I touch her boob?
Oh, Jesus.
Nerd that he is.
So might as well.
So he does. He reaches out, and that's the fan service part.
Oh, okay.
And he realizes, hey, I can do this. So the mechanics that would prevent a hentai from happening in this game originally.
And so
you can kind of do what you want to do at this point. And she's getting more and more horny the entire time.
Jesus.
Because, of course, he just wrote in the description.
Oh, yeah.
She's deeply in love with him. So she basically tries to come on to him. And she's like, you want to strip me here or should I do it?
I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
He's got apparently he's got a stat debuffer though on him. So that way, like, his emotions are automatically kept in check. So he can't
convey how
he
thrilled
can't get
he is.
emotional, basically. Because he's a skeleton. He's an elder lich. He is the skeleton guy.
Huh. Wait, he was a skeleton guy?
Yeah. He's the leader of that guild that destroyed those heroes.
He's a bad guy?
In the game, yes, they played as bad guys.
Yeah, I'm like Scarface. I'm the fucking bad guy. Okay. I'm digging it.
Like I said, they had to be non-human characters to be in this guild. He's like, woman, quit. Like, just quit. He tells her to basically gather all the floor guardians. And floor guardians are basically like the main boss level characters from each floor.
Okay.
And he tells her to go, since she's the leader of them, go get them all. Get every one of them except for floor 4 and floor 8.
What's up with that?
The fourth floor, if I remember right, is a little character called a victim. It's either a victim or this other character named Gargantua.
Huh.
One of the two. I can't remember which one it is. It's one of the two floors, but they both belong to one of them.
Yeah.
Victim is like a little fetal-looking monster with wings and a halo. An angel-style character.
The cherub?
It looks scarier than that. It's like just a fetus.
There's one in there's a something like that in a botchling in Witcher.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
Jesus.
And then Gargantua is a giant, basically, or like a stone golem.
Oh.
Gigantic that ain't gonna fit anywhere.
So he's just fucking stuck. I'm like, I can't get out.
Yeah, pretty much. So he basically tells her to go get all the floor guardians and have them come to the 6th floor, which is a Coliseum.
Why doesn't he want the 4 and 8 though?
Gargantua is too big, I think, and he's mindless. So somebody has to be there to actually control him. And then Victim, I don't remember exactly why, because it's more of a character that can be sacrificed. So, for like high level spells and stuff like that. So he tells them all come to the Coliseum on the 6th floor. So he gets the staff and he heads to the Coliseum himself, where he meets the floor guardians that are there. There's 2. They're twins. And they're both
twins. Here you go, people. You know the perversion that is Noe. You want a good twins in a scene in a movie? Rent, buy, or find Cruel Intentions 2. You're welcome. So, go ahead.
Life advice from Noe. Well, these twins you might not want to do that with. One's a boy, so.
Oh, yeah, I don't really swing that way. Nothing against that, but it's not my dudes aren't my thing.
But you got two dark elf twins, basically. You have a tomboy named Aura Bellafiora.
And Aura Bellafiora. I dig that.
And you have her cross-dressing brother, Mare Bellafiora. So basically, the guild member that created them basically had them cross-dress. So
they're dressed to cross. Okay, that's
so you have Aura, which is the girl dressed as
like
a boy,
guy. That's
and then Mare, which is the boy dressed in a skirt.
That's funny.
But he's still a boy and he acts like a boy, but he's shy. And
like, yo, what's up, bros? I got a dress on. What about it? Fuck you.
not that much. No, he's more of a shy character to where he doesn't really want to talk very much. Yeah, he's kind of like uncertain of his abilities.
They always do that with anime. There's always that one chick. Oh, I'm so shy, and then like, oh, you kill all my friends, and I level up to 6,000 and burn this whole place down.
And a piece of information too for this is that all the floor guardians are level 100 out of 100.
Oh, is that the cap? Jesus.
So you have Mamanga, which is the main guy in this.
Is he 101?
No, he's still level 100. There's actually floor guardians that are technically stronger than he is.
Really?
Yeah.
So is he like the strongest character in the game, or?
No. There was a person that was in the guild even that was stronger than him, named Touch Me.
Okay. What happened there?
Which was a knight. He was like a.
Let me guess. It was a challenge. Touch me, and someone did, and he found out, and he got fucked up.
Well, if I remember right, in the game of Yggdrasil, he was like one of 4 or one of 5 characters in the entire game that had become a world champion. So he was like the best of the best.
Damn,
when it came to warrior.
I wish I could be the best of the best in the game. That's like, imagine being the best in the world like at one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like one thing that's done by a lot of people. I don't want to be like, I'm the best in the world. I can deep throat a hot dog that's 10 inches wide or something. Like I don't want to be the world champion of that.
Oddly specific there.
Don't quit. Don't get too into it. But like if I was like, the best boxer, like Olympic level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be the world champion.
Yeah, one of the world champions. That's why the guild itself was one of the strongest guilds out of all of them. They had some massively powerful
talented
characters
and powerful
on there.
People. Damn.
Yeah. Like you had a character named Ulert that could literally destroy shit with one massive spell and just destroy everything. So Mamanga, which spoiler for this, he later becomes Einzelgone. That's his name. He takes on the guild name as his actual name. So that way, if there's any friends in this new world that know the name.
So it's not just him who's stuck. It's like he's trying to figure out how
he thinks that other people
might be stuck with him too.
Right. Because it turns out they are in a different world. Like this is not the game world no more. Basically the entire tomb of Nazarick was transported all at once to a completely new world.
By who or what? It's like the collective conscious of the game. Let's get the fuck out of here.
We're done with this shit. But since Mamanga at the time was transferred while he was sitting in the guild, the entire guild building was transferred with him, which included all the NPCs and everything.
So he's set. He's got
in this world,
like a base of operations.
Yeah, there's very few characters that can ever even come close to him. Like there's a character later on in the series called PDL, Platinum Dragon Lord. That's strong, but if I'm being honest, not that strong. Like he can still get bodied by multiple people just the NPCs of the guild. Like they are the ultimate like beings in this new world. Like some of the highest level caps you'll ever see in the like from normal people in this new world, like 35, 40.
Jesus.
Like, they're not that great. But he sees these twins, and they ask him, "Hey, is that the staff, the famous staff?" And so he explains, like what kind of gems are in it and how powerful it is. And then he shuts himself up because he starts to basically just go on a tangent about it. He's so proud of it.
Like an 85-minute summary. Like, in the game, you read the little item description. He's like, here, let me tell you what this staff's about. Boom, boom. He fucking puts up a menu pops up like a 95-mile long description of this goddamn one item.
Yeah, and he's proud because his friends helped him build it.
He built an awesome weapon.
So he's like bragging, talking about it to the twins, and it's
you see this gem? We took this from the Dragon of the Silverbacks. He just starts going off.
And of course, him being what they consider a supreme being, since he was a creator of multiple different things in this guild,
right?
They look at him as like basically a god.
Damn,
like they're the same level, but they look at him as more like a god, and so they're kind of fascinated by it. Basically, he then asks them if they would like to help him with something, and he summons a fire elemental. At this point, which he claims is in the higher 80s on level, and this is at the point where he realizes he's like, normally in the game you would have a dashboard showing you all your spells, their range, their cooldown time, all that kind of stuff. But he says that if he focuses on it, he can actually see it in his mind of what he can and can't do and that kind of stuff. So he summons this. Primordial fire elemental, and he asks them if they want to fight it. And Aura, being the tomboy of the two, she's like, "Yeah, I guess you'll fight this." And Mari's like, "I got stuff to do." Starts kind of walking away. She's like, "No," and she grabs him and they go fight it. And not surprisingly, they beat it like extremely easily. Okay. Like it wasn't really anything for them. After which you have Mamanga, and he's talking to the twins. He's like, you should be thirsty by now, and gets like being nice to him, treating them kind of like kids. Yeah, because that's the way he's looking at them, is like they're kids. They're not super old elves or anything like that, because they look like kids still. Right. So I guess in his like normal mind,
his perception,
yeah. And you have Aura basically saying that she thought that he would be scarier because apparently, as an NPC, they never had actual conversations with him. Yeah. So he's like, "I can do that if you like." She's like, No, we like you this way. At this point, you have a character called Shaltir. She's the first of the floor guardians, aside from the twins, to get here finally. Okay. Because they're all starting to appear.
Just trickle in.
Yeah. She looks like a Victorian type woman. Mm-hmm. So she wears the Victorian dress, the bonnet on her head, and stuff like that. Appearances are very deceptive, as you'll find out later. She's a sadist. So,
okay, Jesus.
Yeah, she does horrible things to people. But she goes towards Aura, and they start bickering like sisters, basically. Then you have Kakaitis, which is this big, massive blue warrior character. Basically, he's like an insect, though. So he's got an insect head, like body armor type character.
Skeleton.
Yeah. Obviously, he's going to be like cold. Like he controls frost.
Okay.
For the most part. Kind of stereotypical, but...
Like a frost giant, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a frost giant instinct.
Yeah. You have him walk in, and then they start basically kneeling down before Mamanga at this point.
Yeah.
Because that's their fealty. He can do whatever he wants because he's their leader. Mm-hmm. So you have Shaltir. She introduces herself, and she's like, my name is Shaltir Bloodfallen. I'm the guardian of floors 1, 2, and 3.
God dang. If you beat me once, you won't beat me twice. If you do, you won't beat me 3 times.
So she controls all 3 of the first floors. So when you first walk into this tomb, if you're like, say, a raiding party or an enemy of this guild in the game, you have to fight her.
I got 3 times in a row.
So that's
sounds like a Brad Pickett to me.
Yeah. So that's something. Skipping over the 4th floor, because obviously he said don't bring the guardians of the 4th floor there. You jump onto Kakaitis, which is the guardian of the 5th floor. Uh-huh. And like I said, he's a character that uses a lot of frost. So he has like a frost aura around him in battle, stuff like that. He's also a user of multiple swords and kind of like a samurai type character.
Should use fire swords as an opposite to his frost.
He actually has a lightning sword, though.
Oh, well, there has been lightning during snowstorms.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. Imagine like it's fucking just rain and snow and you get hit by lightning. The last thing you're waiting for.
And remember, these are all level 100 characters at this point. They're NPCs at one point,
100,
but they're floor guardians, so they're all 100.
Are they like they're just chill with this, right? Or are they like as confused as he is?
They don't understand really what's going on.
They're just like
it's more of like they're just living their normal lives.
It's like day to day for them. He's just the one that's freaking out. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. You also have Aura and Mare. They introduce themselves and pledge their fealty because they're both guardians of the 6th floor. Then you have a character named Demiurge. He's basically like a demon lord. Wears a red suit, kind of like what you would expect the devil to look like.
Just looking fly as fuck.
Pretty much, yeah. You also find out later in the series and in the light novels, manga, whatever it is. The dude is evil. And I will say he never betrays, and it's a spoiler for people that have never seen it. But
spoilers.
He does not betray Ainz the entire time. But he is like the smartest character
NPC
out of everything, out of the entire world. He's smarter than Ainz. Like he is like extremely intelligent. But it's
lucky I'm not there.
Between him and Albedo, between the two of those, they're actually the smartest characters in the entire world for the most part.
I wonder their guild is so fucking top notch.
Yeah, like
got fucking ringers left and right.
And like I said, Demiurge is it's pretty fucking evil, as you'll find out later. A good example of this is he tells Ainz, after a manga changes his name to Ainz, they're trying to find paper to write new scrolls on, magic scrolls and stuff like that. And he's like, we're getting it from bipedal sheep.
Bipedals? What are they? Two-legged? What?
Humans.
Oh.
So they're tearing off the people's skin.
For paper.
Yeah.
How dark? This got real dark.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a little, like, oh, it's a little fun. What the? They turned into Berserker.
Overlord is a pretty dark
Jesus
anime.
Christ.
And Demiurge is one of the darkest. Like, yeah, I won't say the other example.
Okay.
It's pretty damn dark.
Times.
And then, of course, he kneels before him. And then you have Albedo. She's the leader of the floor guardians, and they all pledge their fealty. And that is...
When he kneeled, did he put a nice pillow down so his knee doesn't get all nice and dirty? That's what I would do.
Surprisingly, like I said, Demiurge is like one of the most evil characters. But he has extreme respect for Ainz the entire time. Like there's no wavering of it. Like he may be extreme. Here's an example.
Jesus Christ, sounds like a fucking Nazi.
The guy Ainz, which is the main character of this, he is always concerned that they're going to find out that he's not really as intelligent or as smart as people think that he is. But Demiurge is such a high intellect, he basically fills in all the gaps of all the plans
that
he thinks that he's only trying to fulfill Ainz's goals, but he's like creating them on his own because there's gaps. But he's got such a high intellect.
He's going under the assumption that Ainz knows
so far ahead.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, I can do this on my own, no problem, boss.
He basically fills in all the gaps and
that would have
stupidity.
Horrendously ruined
in his mind. Like he's like, oh, he's not telling me this because he wants me to figure it out. Like he's got such a high intellect and he's got such high praise for Ainz Olgon that he can make up excuses of why Ainz doesn't understand something. He's like, oh, well, it's a lesson to me then. But the episode just basically ends with all of them kneeling down, pledging fealty to him.
Do they say Sig Heil?
No.
Jesus.
Oh, but there is an episode. I think it's. I want to say towards episode 7 or 8, we find out the character that Ainz himself created. And it's a character named Pandora's Actor. It is dressed in Nazi gear.
Oh, Jesus. Of course it is.
He says, "See, Kyle."
I bet he does.
Like he wears the Nazi coat and everything.
I'm looking for some Jews. I'm like, what? God, Nazis are just the fucking worst.
Yeah, and then you include the communist China. Yeah.
This girl once asked me, was like, man, you know the what's it, ASPCA, the animal thing?
Oh yeah.
It's like she said she was telling me how awful they actually are, right?
Oh yeah.
And she's like, you know what's worse than the ASPCA? I'm like, Nazis? That pretty much ended the conversation.
But yeah, they basically just they pledge all their fealty to him. And going into the second episode, you have Sebas. He comes back and he explains that they're not in the swamps that they would have been in the game. Mm-hmm. They're surrounded by hills, or excuse me, not hills, by flat land with no hills around. So they're basically sticking out like a sore thumb.
Oh, so pretty much just open field.
Yeah, and
good old cavalry charge.
Yeah, you have Ainz. He eventually tells, or he has Mare, because Mare is a kind of like a druid character. So basically, they create hills around to blend in.
Right.
So cover the outside walls in dirt, so that way you can't see it.
Huh.
Change the entire landscape.
So we're just trying to make sure their little base of operations is so easily penetrated.
Like I said, it's a lot of information. You can skip through the whole episode and not pay attention to where it's like, it's kind of moving, kind of slow as an episode and you're not getting a lot. But if you pay attention to all the undertone stuff and all the details that you're seeing, it's a very informative couple of episodes.
A good old intricate storyline.
Yeah. Yep.
Those are always good.
But that is the deep dive into the very first episode of Overlord. Let's go ahead and get into some Urban Dictionary. Okay.
You got some doozies here too. I just found this one interesting. So it's uploaded by Saudur, Saudur, on June 25th, 2012. It's a booby ruby.
A booby ruby?
Yeah, it's a hickey on a breast that is almost a solid red purple.
Oh, dear God.
That's quite the hickey. I've never done that before. I plan on doing it now.
It's like you got a ruby, bitch.
You got yourself a little ruby or a booby ruby. All right, so we got uploaded by Meow Mix.
Meow Mix.
On December 27, 2003. This is an old one, 2003.
Oh, good Lord.
Bungus.
Is it a butt fungus?
One who explores a man's rectal cavity. I don't know why it's got to be a man's rectal, but okay. This next one I actually have a story for.
Oh, God.
So uploaded by I'm Not Very Witty on May 6, 2008. High butt crack syndrome. So it's a medical condition in which, upon sitting, 3 or 4 inches of the victim's butt crack are exposed, typically found in high school girls and the occasional middle-aged fat man. So I do have a story for that one. I used to have a coworker in my retail job. She's been gone now for a couple years, but she had a very, very large ass. I'm talking about probably if you do the circumference, right? Be 70 inches. It was I've never seen in real life. And
it wasn't a BBL?
What's that?
Brazilian butt lift.
Oh no, it's just natural. Just her big old booty. And she used to I guess once she got comfortable with the employees there, it's like she just gave up on lifting her pants up because they would drag down all the time. So instead of 3 or 4 inches of butt crack, right? I'm talking about 9 or 10 of just bare ass. I saw her ass more than I've ever seen mine. I remember one time I needed help with backup and the intercom wasn't working. So I found her in aisle 1, right? And she was kneeled down, sitting and putting stuff on the bottom shelf. Yeah. And which is basically it was just the whole ass without. But it's funny when you see when you first see oh damn, that's a lot of it's all exciting and fun and whatnot. But then you after a year, it's just you're used to it. So I got used to seeing ass every day when I worked with her.
So when you had a big fat guy bend over too, it was just ass with hair.
don't know. I've never seen a guy. I hope not. I've never seen a guy with. There's no way a guy could have her level of ass. It's like impossible. Not only did she have such a big ass, but it was always clean. And I never saw underwear. I don't know what her ass did her, but she's never had underwear on. They must have been just up somewhere far in the nethers of her booty hole, because it was always just a bare ass. If you're listening to this, I apologize.
It's a tangent. It's just a tangent.
It's just a story. You were fun to work with. Okay. So I guess that's that.
Well, that is everything for this episode. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe, and
just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I don't know. You caught me off guard. What am I supposed to say to people?
You guys have a good one.
Oh, I got it. When in doubt, eat her out. There you go.
Bye, everybody.